Steve Jobs once said, "Simple can be harder than complex." You have to work hard to get your thinking clean to make it simple. Most people hear this as advice about design, a principle for crafting elegant products or user interfaces. But in the dynamic and often demanding corporate world, this profound statement explains something many astute employees eventually notice. A truth that shapes careers and defines success. The individuals who consistently move ahead, who climb the ladder of influence and recognition, are not always the ones tirelessly doing the most work, burning the midnight oil, or accumulating the longest task lists. They are, more often than not, the ones who possess the invaluable ability to explain their complex work, their innovative ideas, and their significant contributions with the utmost clarity and precision. This distinction is not merely semantic. It is foundational to understanding professional advancement. Let's delve into the first crucial aspect, the often underestimated, yet immensely powerful, role of clarity over sheer, unguided effort. In many workplaces, across various industries and team structures, clarity is consistently valued more highly than raw, unrefined effort. This isn't to say effort is unimportant, but rather that its impact is amplified exponentially by clear communication. You may have witnessed this phenomenon unfold countless times in your own professional journey. Picture a typical team meeting. One colleague explains an intricate idea with such elegant simplicity that everyone in the room immediately grasps its essence, nodding in collective understanding and agreement. Their message resonates instantly. Meanwhile, another colleague presents something far more detailed, perhaps even more thoroughly researched and meticulously prepared. But their delivery is convoluted, laden with jargon, or lacks a clear narrative thread. As they speak, people's eyes begin to glaze over, their attention quickly drifting, lost in a sea of information. And when the meeting concludes, despite the second person's greater effort, only the first clearly articulated idea is truly remembered, discussed, and ultimately acted upon. The contrast is stark and undeniable. The human brain is fundamentally wired to naturally prefer information that is easy to process and assimilate. When a concept or message is presented with clarity, it demands significantly less cognitive effort from the audience to understand, interpret, and absorb. Consequently, people respond to clear communication faster and more positively, not necessarily because the underlying idea itself is inherently superior or more groundbreaking, but primarily because it is significantly easier to follow, comprehend, and integrate into their existing knowledge framework. This ease of processing creates a powerful psychological advantage. This fundamental cognitive preference is precisely why effort in isolation does not automatically guarantee recognition, appreciation, or career success. If the inherent value, the core benefit, or the critical insight of your hard work is not clearly understood, articulated, and presented in an accessible manner, it is all too easily overlooked, dismissed, and ultimately undervalued by those who need to recognize it. Next, we explore a critical truth: how your communication directly and profoundly shapes how your work, and by extension, your professional identity, is perceived by others. Your work is not solely evaluated by the objective quality of what you accomplish, but equally, if not more so, by how others understand, interpret, and internalize what you do. Perception, in this context, is often reality. Consider a common scenario within many team environments. One dedicated individual might diligently complete the bulk of the actual work, putting in countless long hours, meticulously handling complex tasks, and pouring their energy into the execution. Yet, another person, perhaps with less direct involvement in the day-to-day grind, steps forward to present that work in a clear, concise, and highly structured way to stakeholders or leadership. Over time, it is often the presenter who becomes strongly and positively associated with the successful results and achievements, frequently receiving the lion's share of the credit and recognition. even if their direct contribution to the raw output was less. This dynamic highlights the power of presentation. People, by nature, do not retain every intricate detail, every nuanced step, or every minor challenge of a complex process or project. Instead, what truly sticks in their minds is the distilled, coherent, and effectively communicated version of the work that was presented to them. Therefore, communication doesn't just convey information. It acts as the essential filter, the lens through which all value, all effort, and all achievement are ultimately perceived, judged, and remembered. It frames the narrative of your contribution. If your diligent work, your innovative solutions, or your significant contributions are not translated clearly, compellingly, and accessibly into a language that your audience understands, then others simply cannot fully recognize its true worth, its profound impact, or its strategic importance, regardless of its intrinsic quality or the effort invested. The burden of clarity rests with the communicator. Now, let's examine a powerful psychological link. How clear communication inherently projects an aura of confidence and competence, influencing how others view your capabilities. Clear, unambiguous communication is consistently interpreted by observers as a strong indicator of both confidence in one's ideas and competence in one's domain. It's a subtle yet potent signal. When someone steps forward and explains a complex topic, a challenging problem, or an innovative idea in a simple, structured, and effortlessly easy-to-digest manner, others in the room tend to trust their expertise, their judgment, and their leadership more readily and deeply. This holds true even if the underlying idea itself isn't entirely new or revolutionary. The manner of its delivery, the clarity with which it is articulated, makes all the difference in its reception and acceptance. It suggests mastery. Simplicity, far from being a sign of superficiality, has a profoundly powerful effect. It significantly reduces uncertainty and ambiguity for the audience. When uncertainty is minimized, when the path forward is clear, people feel far more comfortable, secure, and confident in aligning with the presented idea, strategy, or direction. Consequently, the individual who consistently communicates with such clarity appears not only more decisive and reliable, but crucially, more capable, more authoritative, and ultimately, a more trustworthy leader or contributor. This perception is invaluable. This is precisely why clarity does not merely serve to improve understanding. Its impact extends far beyond that. It profoundly shapes how others evaluate your capability, your leadership potential, and your overall professional standing within an organization. It's a direct pathway to building credibility and influence. Finally, let's uncover the subtle yet profoundly impactful shift that truly elevates communication from a mere task to a strategic advantage. The real, transformative advantage in communication is not found in speaking more words or speaking more frequently, but rather in the disciplined and deliberate act of thinking more clearly and strategically before uttering a single word. Many individuals, in a well-intentioned but often misguided attempt to appear more engaged, more influential, or more valuable, try to improve their standing by talking more frequently or at greater length in meetings, filling every silence. However, without the foundational bedrock of underlying clarity, an increase in verbal output often leads to the opposite effect. It creates more confusion, more ambiguity, and ultimately dilutes their message rather than strengthening it. Quantity without quality is counterproductive. True clarity, the kind that captivates and convinces, does not spontaneously emerge from an abundance of words. Instead, it stems from a rigorous internal process of organizing one's thoughts, meticulously distilling complex information down to its core essence, and actively, even ruthlessly, removing any unnecessary jargon, convoluted details, or extraneous information that might obscure the main point. It requires a deep, almost intuitive understanding of the core idea, and the intellectual discipline to present it in its most essential, impactful, and accessible form, rather than simply increasing verbal output. It's about precision, not volume. So, the ultimate goal for effective communication is not to speak more words, to dominate conversations, or to fill more airtime. It is instead to refine your message, to sharpen its focus, and to make it inherently and effortlessly easier for your audience to understand, absorb, internalize, and ultimately to act upon. This shift in focus from speaking to thinking is where true communicative power lies. So, if you've ever found yourself in a position where you felt like your hard work, your dedication, or your innovative contributions were not being fully recognized, or that your significant efforts were sometimes overlooked or undervalued, it may not be as you might initially suspect, because your work inherently lacks intrinsic value, quality, or impact. The problem might not be in the what you do. It may very well be because that immense value, that critical insight, or that profound impact is simply not being communicated in a way that others can easily understand, appreciate, and connect with. The problem might be in the how you communicate it. And once you recognize that crucial difference, once you internalize this powerful perspective and truly understand the symbiotic relationship between your work and its communication, you begin to see, with newfound clarity, that communication is not a separate, secondary, or peripheral task to your core work. It is not an add-on. It is, in fact, an integral, indispensable, and utterly foundational part of the work itself, a vital skill that, when mastered, unlocks true impact, undeniable recognition, and profound professional success. It transforms effort into influence,